Okay, so when we are learning the game, there are obviously things that we need to be aware of in order to learn and learn at a decent rate. These are things that I didn't have at the time when I was starting the game, things I didn't know about, aspects of the game, equipment, things like that, playing conditions. They were all things I just didn't know about. With that said, it was a good reason for me to do this video because I wasn't able to be helped at the time because I didn't know who to ask. I didn't know what the things were that I could do to learn. I didn't really know anything. And subsequently, I kept on moving in and out of the game and losing interest at a very fast rate and just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. So that's kind of the result, really. So that's the reason why I wanted to do this video more than anything, because I'm in a position now that I can help people through the experiences I've had. So starting with, I suppose, the equipment, the balls. The ones that you tend to use in the clubs aren't always going to be the ones that you need to use to learn the game properly. The reason being because of the weight difference. That's the main reason, to be honest. The white balls are considerably lighter on an economy set, which were often used in the clubs just to keep the prices down, I would imagine. So they wouldn't be using the kind of equipment that we need to learn the game at a quicker rate. So in terms of the weight differences, what you will find is the club balls are ranging from about 126 grams or so, in and around that area, and the ones that we should be using, the entire set should weigh on average 140 something, at the very least 138, 39. That's what we should be playing with to learn the game properly. Now, back in the day when I first started playing and dabbling in the game from one time to another, I had no idea that any of this went on. No idea. Didn't know. And in the result, I lost interest because I didn't feel like my game was moving on. I didn't feel like I was getting any kind of a grip with the game and improving. So I very quickly lost interest. And I'm sure that this has happened to a lot of other people and they've been unaware of it. So that's the situation with the equipment in terms of the balls that we use. They have to be right, because if they aren't right, then you're going to get inconsistent results, and therefore your training and your learning process is going to be inconsistent, and that's the problem. That's the main issue here, is the equipment has to be right so that you can train in the right way. So that's the equipment, and then you've got the playing conditions as well. There are so many different things with the playing conditions that you have to be aware of, such as the condition of the cloth, what kind of cloth it is, the size of the pockets, the height of the table is also something that you have to consider, because that does vary between table and to table. It does vary. It's not so... You can't be too mindful of that because it doesn't seem to make that much difference, but it does affect your game, and it can hinder any learning that you're going through. It can hinder that. So, but it's not something that you would hear a lot about, because it's probably not even common knowledge. But the table heights do vary, and I mean, you can try that in the local club. Just get your cue, put it by the table, stand it up by one of the corner pockets and check the height, and then check it against another table, and I'm sure you'll find that they all vary in height. So that's another aspect. Yeah, and I was saying about the condition of the cloth. If the cloth isn't cleaned on a regular basis, then that would affect the spin that you get on the cue ball. That has a massive effect. And things like that, you know. It's just, they were all things that I didn't know at the time when I was learning, and because I didn't know them, it kind of made the whole process a lot more difficult to handle, and that was the problem. When I was first playing the game, and going to various clubs and playing on different tables and trying to get to grips with the game. If I'd have asked somebody that had any knowledge about how to improve, then they would have probably just said to me, oh, just go and do the lineup drill. That's how you learn this game. But I wasn't aware of that exercise, so I was just pointlessly hitting balls around the table, not really with any kind of direction or any way of motivating myself to gain more interest for the game and develop. It just didn't happen for me. Whether that was down to me, my fault, or not knowing who to ask, because to be brutally honest, I just didn't know who to ask. I didn't know who the good players were. I wasn't really a regular at the club. I didn't know anything, so it was kind of a just have a go kind of mentality, and without the direction or knowing what to do, it was really, really difficult. But now, all these years on, I've gained all this experience anyway myself, and I'm aware of these other exercises. I mean, some of them I've developed myself, like the 51 drill. It's a much condensed version of the lineup drill, but it's much more approachable for any kind of level, any ability level, much more approachable. And I've covered that in other videos anyway. I've done some video examples of that, and in my opinion, that's probably the best route to learning is the drills, the 51 drills, including the colours. That's also a really useful one, and that's what I would urge people to try, because it's really effective. It is really, really effective, and it would help you to grow more interest for the game and to keep you hooked and to keep you going along this journey, this learning journey that we all go through. And I'm in a quite a happy state with my game at the moment, and it's only going to get better because I have a renewed interest for the game, and through the coaching program that I joined and that I became a part of, it's just enhanced everything for me personally on a personal level. I just find it much more interesting, and the rewarding thing for me is being able to pass on any knowledge that I've gained over the years and being able to help people, and hopefully not have them be in that position that I was in when I didn't know anything or didn't know who to talk to, wasn't given any advice, didn't really know, and it was quite a difficult thing, quite a difficult journey to be on. So I'm happy and I'm grateful for this opportunity to pass on to other people to just try and prevent them having to go down those routes which lead to possibly nothing at the end, only just you just can't do it anymore. You just don't feel like you're getting any kind of motivation from it. So hopefully that would help people. Like I said, with regards to the equipment that we use, the balls, they need to be right. The tables need to be in a reasonable condition, because that just helps. It's not the end of the world, but it does help a great deal. So that's the tables, the equipment, and what we need to be mindful of in the future when we are moving forward on this journey to learn the game. And I hope that helps.